The game has changed with the Pokemon Go Johto update. So many things have changed. We have movesets, we have moves, we have mechanics, we have new Pokemon, we have new moves, and a whole bunch of other things to discuss. So it's going to be quite the big video. Hopefully I can do a good job covering as much as I can. I definitely can't cover everything, so I'm going to leave a lot of links in the description below. You can go and check these out, mostly for the specific movesets and Pokemon that you want to go and investigate for yourself, because I just can't go down the list and talk about every single change, but I will point out some of the more notable ones and just kind of the overall theme of what happened, because it seems like the biggest change was not new Pokemon introduced, but changes to quick moves and all of the other moves and stuff. And also, Lapras kind of got some base stat changes as well. That with the rest of Pokemon stat adjustment, the rumor going around right now is that since there was a Lapras event going on in Japan, it didn't really get changed, so now Lapras is getting caught up, and it seems like a pretty big nerf to the Lapras overall with the changes to the moves as well. So some moveset changes, which we will also cover with the Legacy movesets. Pretty much Legacy movesets, what you missed out on. When it comes to the movesets, overall, it was kind of a buff. As we can see right here, some Gen 1 Pokemon lost moves with this update, which means they are no longer available, which are known as Legacy. So this is going to cover movesets that are actually worse than the old ones, so effectively a nerf to new players unless you have these Legacy Pokemon. I'm wondering what that's going to mean when we get trading. That Legacy Pokemon are going to be very valuable, so you might want to keep an eye out for this and also not give up any of the Pokemon that have these movesets cheaply. So we can see that these are just the Pokemon that got some changes right there, and that's something that you can look and investigate for yourself. But also it kind of goes into the new Pokemon as well, that they all have their own stats and crazy things to talk about with power, defense, hit points, and their own moveset and DPS. So right now, we are only in the second day of the Johto update, so things don't look pretty. This is just a Google Docs. We have the information. It's kind of bare bones right now, but eventually we're going to get updates to other websites showing us tier lists, DPS listings, and all kind of orders and stuff. So I'm going to do videos as that information comes out, but this is still good to know because you need to familiarize yourself with the update before we go any further. So now we can go and talk about the moves. What that other post said is pretty much what happened. A lot of the moves are slower but stronger, and some of them didn't even get a change at all. They were just nerfed to be slower. So there is a longer attack animation right now, which means that it is less spammy to go and just throw out attacks and stuff. However, this is a pretty bad thing because a lot of moves are also slower to charge right now, and the damage changes are affecting Pokemon in really weird ways. So this is going to change as information comes out about like what the best DPS is. That's pretty much the rule of thumb right now. DPS is king on pretty much any choice that you want to make right now. Also, we can see that with these special moves, a lot of the special moves did get some pretty big power buffs because it takes longer for them to charge, and it does kind of show that the better charge moves right now are the ones that just take more energy and deal more damage. It's pretty crazy. The biggest change seems to be about the moves and how the game actually interacts with the moves instead of all of the new second generation Pokemon. So we're going to have to go and keep an eye out for that. Also, one thing to point out about this is that we do have all of the new move listings as well. So the quick moves and the special moves for all of their damage numbers and stuff as we go and find out more about this. This is actually really interesting because this was put into the game's code about a month ago, and that's why people are like, ooh, Johto's coming. We have some new moves, and that's when we go and transition on over to the Sylph Road because they have their APK mine of Pokemon Go for Gen 2 and beyond, and kind of gives a little bit of an overview as to what's going on. New badges, new moves, key items such as the evolution items. So we do have reports of people receiving evolutionary items from Pokestops, and that's pretty much it. Like, you just kind of mix the evolutionary items with candies. We're going to talk about that as we go through the list of changes later on, but this is kind of an overall idea of things that happen. We have more shiny code for the shiny Pokemon. So shiny Pokemon are getting a lot of support with the Gen 2 update. We have critical catching. So there's just a chance that the Pokeball will shake once and you will critical capture the Pokemon. So that's kind of it with this. Pretty much we have a bulk of the information and then a couple of changes under the hood that were discovered through the APK mining. Pokeball physics changes. Something appears different about Pokeball throws. The following new physics related code has appeared, and that's kind of it. So you can feel the difference. Maybe there are some changes that are going on as well. Another update, this one coming directly from the Pokemon Go Twitter. more candies. So if you catch an evolved form of a Pokemon, it will reward you with more candies than if you caught it previously. So it's no longer just straight across the board, and people seem very happy. I'm in love with you. Pokemon Go used Max Revive, so it's like Pokemon Go isn't dead anymore. We got second generation. We have some quality of life improvements. Everything is looking good right there. So this is a pretty big change that people are hyped with. Also, we do have new items that are being introduced as well. Nana Berries and Pineapple Berries. Nana Berries will slow their movements, making them easier to catch. Pineapple Berry doubles the amount of candy you'll receive if your next catch attempt succeeds. So you might want to save those for evolution Pokemon as well. Get tons of candy because it's going to double the amount right there, and that could be pretty powerful for leveling up. Also, we can go and see right here, this is what I was talking about with the evolutionary items and the new evolution changes, because a lot of Pokemon from the first generation ended up getting other evolutions in the second generation as well. So we can see Golbat into Crobat, no changes, just 100 candies. And then for Gloom into Bellossom, 100 Oddish candies and a Sunstone. Poliwhirl and Politoed, that's going to be 100 Poliwag candies and a King's Rock. So pretty much just think about the trade evolutionary items mixed in with some candies. Sometimes it's going to be 100, sometimes it's going to be 50s. Eevee is interesting because the Eevee trick is back, so you can either get the chance of a random Eevee now with 2 more, or also you can name it Tamao for a 100% chance at Umbreon, or name it Sakura for a 100% chance at an Espeon on evolution. However, this trick only works once, so it's similar to the original evolution trick as well. If you named it Pyro, Sparky, or Rainer, that first time it will guarantee your evolution. So you might want to go and use that on a very powerful 100% Eevee for yourselves. Let's see, what other changes do we have right now? There's just a lot of discussion going on. So people kind of debating over some of the changes. Right now, this says that Future Sight seems to be the best psychic move right now. So unfortunately, Psycho Cut is weak move right now. Confusion seems a lot more powerful. Future Sight, however, is the best psychic move at the moment. So kind of a mix of just new changes and legacy, but Future Sight looking very powerful. So just a heads up right there as we go into more things. Some other just talks. Lapras got its base stats nerf. Charizard now gets Fire Spin as a fast attack. Twister is a legacy move for Gyarados. It can now have Hydro Pump, Crunch, Outrage as its charge move. So again, going back to all these changes right here, just all kinds of crazy stuff to go and discuss. Also, some other changes to cover. Every base capture rate for Gen 1 Pokemon has been increased. So Gen 1 Pokemon, slightly easier to capture right now. Bonus Candy and Stardust for evolutions. 2 Candy and 200 Stardust for the first evolution. 7 Candy and 400 Stardust for the second evolution right there. And now there's also some other changes. Pokemon now have Jump, Dodge, or Attack as options when being captured, along with a minimum time of 0.5 seconds and the maximum being 1.6 seconds between actions. So a lot of people are talking about some Pokemon being a bit more frustrating to capture right now, so there is a bit more of adapting, which is also why those new berries can help as well, since you can slow down the Pokemon's movements and try to hone in on the Pokemon a bit more. So a bit more dynamic catching is the overall trend right now. Now it's time for the last little part of the video, so kind of looking ahead and also seeing what we have right now. Cerebi has done an excellent job of already having all of the moves look pretty nice. Like I said, this kind of looks a little bare, and we're going to get more resources as it comes. But with Cerebi, you can actually see pictures of the Pokemon that are going to be learning it, and it has a nice little bit of a display. And what I really like about Cerebi is that it archives everything, that we have previous patches, so you can kind of go and find the changes right there. Same for Pokemon listings as well, that we have in-depth Pokemon listings that you can look up attack, defense, and hit points of all the Pokemon, or you can also go and find the Pokemon listings right here, and then kind of see the catch rate, flea rate, and everything involving all of the Pokemon. And it's even kind of set up for Johto right now that we at least get to see the stats and max CP, and as we get more information, the catch rate, flea rate, and everything else will go and update. So that's kind of it right now. It seems like one of the biggest things about Pokemon Go is adapting, learning the new mechanics, learning the new moves, and finding the best movesets. So that information will be coming out shortly, but also a lot of people like finding these things out for themselves. So go out, do your research. There's a lot of resources available right now. We have the Sylph Road, we have the Pokemon Go Reddit, we have a lot of spreadsheets going around, we have Cerebi. So one of the cool things is that with the Johto update, a lot of people now have access to some of their favorite Pokemon. So you can go and see what these Pokemon do, how strong they're going to be, and then just kind of keep adding on to that. Also, I'm going to be keeping up with the content as well, checking off like the strongest moves, the strongest movesets, and the strongest Pokemon. As that information kind of becomes easily available, there's probably tons of people right now working on these lists and the DPS and all those kinds of fun values. So that's kind of it right now. Crazy changes. Like, it was very surprising how pretty much, actually, definitely all the moves were changed in some kind of way, and then a lot of the Pokemon did get some moveset changes. So we have a lot of things to deal and learn with right now, and that's just kind of going to be the progression of Pokemon Go. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.